What is up, YouTube? Zain Rahman, and the topic for today's video is what is the best shape for you to be in to build muscle. And I'm not a nutritionist or dietitian or fitness trainer or coach or whatever. Okay, what I talk about is just my opinion, so you don't have to believe anything I say, but you can if you want to. So, if you've seen some of my videos, listen to some of the shit I ramble about, you would know that I follow some of the top coaches in the fitness industry, and I keep taking information from their content. I listen to their podcasts and follow their YouTubes and whatever, and that's where the majority of my knowledge comes from. This has been a recent topic of discussion amongst some of these coaches. Okay, what is the best shape for you to be in to build muscle? He had Justin Harris and Layne Norton talk about this on Fuad Abiyad's Real Bodybuilding podcast, and my favorite, my coach and principal, John Meadows, talked about this in one of his YouTube videos, where he talked about whether you should bulk or cut. And my favorite fitness YouTuber, Coach Greg Doucette, did a review of what John had to say. Okay, so we'll take into consideration what all of these coaches are saying, analyze it, try and make sense of it, and see what really would be the best shape for you to be in if you have a goal to build muscle. Okay, and I'm not challenging what these coaches are saying. Okay, I'm not debating with them, and my opinion doesn't matter because, of course, they're some of the best coaches in the world, and my opinion is just from the perspective of an audience. Okay, and we'll try and make sense of what all these guys are saying, and see what makes sense. Okay, so my opinion doesn't matter. Okay, theirs does, but I'm just making an analysis. Let's first consider what Justin Harris had to say. Okay, so he says that the leaner you are, the better place your body is in to build muscle or to grow. Okay, because he comes from the point of being more insulin sensitive when you're at a leaner body fat percentage. Okay, the lower body fat that you have, the better place your body would be in to build muscle and to grow, because you would just be more insulin sensitive then, and that is really when your body is primed to grow. Okay, because at such a lean body fat level, your body wants to grow typically. Layne Norton kind of challenged that. He disagreed with him in a respectful way. Okay, and his thought process was that in order to grow, in order to build muscle, you would need to train hard, train with big weights, and be able to eat in a calorie surplus. And you wouldn't really be building that muscle without that stimulus. Okay, without that heavy training. Okay, so I mean, you wouldn't be your strongest at your leanest. Okay, you would be at pretty much the weakest in terms of how you are performing in gym and stuff like that. Okay, the amount of weights that you can lift. So the leaner you are, the less strong you would be. Okay, so that was his point, taking into consideration that you would need to train heavy and progressively to build muscles. John Meadows believes that you would want to be in a body fat percentage of 8 to 14, maybe 15%. Okay, and he believes that if you get fatter than that, then the longer that you have fat on your body, the harder it would be for you to get rid of it. Okay, so that is why he really won't want you to get past that 14, maybe 15% mark. And what he says is that if you would tend to go over that mark, he would want you to do a mini cut and get back to one of these levels that he would believe is the best place for you to build muscle in. So Ian Valier touched on this on one of his Instagram stories. Okay, someone asked him on a question, what would be the ideal shape to be in to build muscle, and he said that it's 9 to 14%. As per him, that's what I believe he said, and I think he's coming from the same school of thought as John Meadows. Okay, so even Ian, he's not as experienced as some of these other coaches, but I do believe he has the potential to be a top coach, because at this time he's a top athlete and he has already coached Chris Bumstead to Mr. Olympia Classic Physique Championship. Okay, so anyway, that's what Ian is saying. Just throwing that in there. Okay, because another piece of opinion. And what Coach Greg is saying is something similar to Layne Norton. Okay, he sort of disagrees with John Meadows about being that 18 to 14% or whatever. Okay, and he says that someone's body might tend to go up to 20%, and that is the natural shape that that particular individual's body might want to be in to be able to build muscle in the most optimal way. Because like I said, he's saying something along the same lines of Layne Norton, that you have to be training heavy, and whatever body fat percentage you can train best at in a manner which would stimulate and allow your muscles to grow in the most optimal way, and at the rate that you want them to, and gain the kind of muscle mass that you want to. That range would differ from everyone. For everyone, okay, for some it might be 9%, and it might be as much as 20%. But again, we know Coach Greg is not an advocate of getting overweight or obese, and I believe he's probably the most body positive person in the world, because he doesn't really promote being shredded or ripped all year. Okay, he constantly says that you should be at a body fat percentage that you're healthy and that your body is comfortable being in, where you have good energy levels to go about your everyday shit, and to be able to train hard. Okay, so he actually says that you shouldn't diet to the point where you're not able to train hard. And if you're trying to get maybe below 10% body fat, then you would have to compromise on your performance a little bit, because you wouldn't really be your strongest. Okay, so that's what Coach Greg is saying. All right, he says that someone's body's natural tendency might be to go up to that 20% body fat mark, and that's where it might be most primed to train heavy and progressively and build muscle. Okay, so that's what these four gentlemen are saying. Okay, so let's look into their statements a little, and see what would be the best place for your body to be in to build muscle. So, what Justin Harris is saying about the insulin sensitivity, and he also made a point about uh, your estrogen levels being directly proportional to the amount of body fat that you have. Okay, and that's a fact. The fatter that you are, the higher your body fat percentage is, the more estrogen your body would produce. And in a state where your body is producing more estrogen, that would be a rather catabolic state for your body to be in, which is the opposite of anabolism, which is a state that would promote muscle growth and repair in the most optimal way. So the fatter you are, the more catabolic your body would be, and the less ideal of an environment that would be for your body to grow and to build muscle. Okay, so he makes a lot of sense with that point, and also with the point about the insulin sensitivity, your body being most insulin sensitive when you're at your lowest body fat percentage. And I'm sure he's not saying this, and he would agree with that you can't be training your heaviest at 5% body fat. Okay, you might want to be 15% or 20-25% for some people. Okay, so I mean, you wouldn't be your strongest at 5% body fat. So that's just a little caveat I would like to throw into Justin Harris's statement. Okay, so I mean, if his hypothesis states that the leaner you are, the better you would be at building muscle, then we'll just agree with that a little bit. And because, like Layne Norton and Coach Greg are saying, you wouldn't really be able to train as heavy at 5% body fat as you would be at maybe 15 or 20%. So, and you need to be able to lift big and eat big to grow, be in a calorie surplus, and that would be the ideal environment for your body to be in to build muscle. But he makes really good points about the insulin sensitivity and the estrogen levels making your body more catabolic. So you wouldn't be at the most ideal place to build muscle if you're at a relatively high body fat percentage. Okay, so now let's look at what John Meadows, Layne Norton, and Coach Greg are saying. Okay, so like I said, Coach Greg disagrees with John Meadows' point about being 8 to 15% body fat, and he says that some people's body might want to go up to that 20% mark. So it is in an ideal place to lift heavy and build muscle, and that might be true. Okay, but I guess all these four gentlemen are more or less agreeing with each other, and so I guess the sweet spot is still that 8 to 15% body fat. Disagreeing with what Coach Greg is saying here a little bit. Okay, like you might be in a better position to lift heavier, train harder at that 20% body fat level. But then again, considering the facts about the insulin sensitivity and your body being in a catabolic state because of the increase in your estrogen levels at a higher body fat percentage, I think we need to take those factors into consideration. And if your body tends to go over that 15% mark, maybe closer to that 20-25% body fat mark, then I guess you could do something like what John Meadows is suggesting and do some sort of a mini cut and come down to a body fat level that's around that 10-15% mark. And I think that would be the best place for your body to be in for you to build muscle. Okay, so not completely disagreeing with what Coach Greg is saying. Okay, you might be able to train your hardest at that 20% body fat level, but then again, your insulin sensitivity, it won't be the same that it would be at a lower body fat percentage. And also at a lower body percentage, your body would be in a more anabolic state. Your testosterone levels would be higher, your estrogen would be lower, and that is a more optimal position for you to be in to be able to build muscle. Okay, so we are not completely disagreeing with any of what these four world-class coaches are saying. Okay, but I mean, we're sort of in the middle of what all of them are saying. Okay, so we agree with Justin Harris about the point about being lean, so your body is in the most anabolic state, and your estrogen levels are not too high, and that would give you uh, an ideal spot to build muscle. Okay, and not completely agreeing with Coach Greg. I mean, you might be able to uh, build most muscle at that 20% body fat mark, but then again, it's a little relative. Okay, so there is a bit of an effort you can put in to get down to that 15% body fat mark. And I think that would be a better place for you to build muscle because of the factors coming in from the insulin sensitivity and the catabolism from your elevated estrogen levels. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we are sort of in the middle of what all of these coaches are saying, and more or less they're saying the same thing, just applying a bit of their theoretical knowledge and experience, okay, and what they believe in to disagree with each other maybe a little bit in black and white, but I think that 8% to 15% body fat mark is the most optimal place for your body to be in to build muscle, okay, because you would have good levels of insulin sensitivity, your estrogen levels won't be too high so as to promote a catabolic state for your body, and also at this kind of a body fat level you would be able to train hard, train in a progressive way. And as Coach Greg says, he disagreed with John Meadows about doing the mini cut, and like we know, he's an advocate for main gaining, so maintaining a healthy body fat level and just building up from there without getting fat. So I think this would be the best place for your body to be in to main gain, as the term that Coach Greg has coined. So 8 to 15% body fat, you know, if you're going over that and if you have a goal to build muscle, then you might want to come down to some of these levels. Okay, and if you're already there, then just keep training as hard as you can, harder than last time, and stick to your diets and be patient, be consistent, and I think the results will follow. Okay, so that's what I have to say to summarize about these four gentlemen's point of views about what the ideal shape for your body to be in to build muscle. So to conclude, let's just say that you want to be 8 to 15% body fat, and that's where your body would be optimized to build muscle in the most efficient way. So let's end this at that. Let me know what you thought about the video. Leave your questions in the comments and let me know what you think. Like and share the video, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.